With Wayfinder only 5 days away from release, many people are overjoyed with anticipation for this long-awaited game. In this video, I wanted to express some of the things that I would love to see in the game. Since Wayfinder is not taking a traditional approach to the MMO format, there are many things that I hope upon for its release. But first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by me. If you are just finding my channel, I would love it if you were to subscribe, as I plan to make more Wayfinder content and document my journey to what I believe will be an amazing game that the MMO space needs. If you are interested in more guides and videos on Wayfinder, don't forget to press the bell to get notifications for each time I upload a new video. Now, back to the video. While the game is releasing in early access with 3 playable characters and 3 unlockable characters, I would love to see more types of roles in the future. Right now, there are 3 roles, which are Survivalist with Silo and Venomous, Arcanist with Nis and Kairos, and War Master with Wingrave and Senja. Each role currently does a little bit of everything, with Survivalist focusing more on debuffs and healing, Arcanist doing just raw damage, and War Masters being the tanks. Moving forward, I believe there will be plenty of areas to create more roles, such as maybe a dedicated buffing role, in providing things like damage buffs or HP buffs. Then again, though, I could see this type of play being put under the Survivalist or War Master's role, as a lot of the roles are actually very general. Now, the next thing I would like to see is consistent character releases. This is quite a tall expectation. However, there are actually talks of a new character being added at the end of early access, and I feel like it's very important for games like Wayfinder to really release new characters, as they rely on those new characters to keep gameplay fresh, exciting, and new. The Wayfinder team has already confirmed that they will be releasing characters consistently. However, in the opposite case, it might be better actually to release less characters and focus on making the upcoming characters way better. As one example I'd like to use is a system that kind of relates to Valor, where a lot of the new characters are heavily thought out and balanced, or at least more so than another specific hero game that we won't talk about. Now, the third thing I would love to see is instant type raiding. We already know that we will be obtaining open world bosses. However, one thing I would love to see is 6 to 8 player instance raid bosses, or something more akin to World of Warcraft but on a smaller scale. A lot of people are comparing Wayfinder to be a mix between Genshin Impact, Destiny 2, and World of Warcraft, and it seems the developers are taking that kind of route, especially more towards the Destiny 2 style raiding, but on an open world, which I honestly somewhat prefer. However, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below of what type of raiding you would really love to see in Wayfinder. Now, the fourth thing I would love to see, and we already know that we're probably not going to get it, but that's loot. While it is confirmed that all weapons in Wayfinder will have to be crafted by obtaining materials from enemies, I would really love to see special types of loot from raid bosses, even if it's just cosmetic. This will be actually a great way of distinguishing yourself from other people. We already know that also we're getting a cosmetic system as well, but playing into the looting system will allow players to kind of gain infamy and fame based off of their looks. Especially since this is not a traditional MMO, is taking the more hero route, I think it's very important that we somewhat are able to design and kind of change our each and every one of our characters, so that way they're more unique. Now, the last thing I would love to see, and I think this is the most important thing, and that's more character abilities for each specific character. As each character only has about a handful of set abilities, and personally I would love to see more options and changes to the ability list. I do not believe, though, that each character should have more than the 4 set abilities that each character does have. However, I think that instead, if we were to get a larger pool of character-specific abilities to choose from, for example, Silo having like his fire bomb, maybe he also has an ice bomb that you could choose from, that would allow for a lot more customization and overall general wider amount of builds and ways to play in the future. And you could also play into this more by adding different effects. For example, the firebomb in oil creates kind of like an explosion and lights the enemy ablaze. However, What if maybe you were to combine the ice bomb with oil and maybe it causes some freezing? There's many ways that really the dev team can kind of play in this in the future, but overall I'm very excited to see what they do. Now that's going to be it for this video. While there are many things that I would love to see with Wayfinder, I don't want this video to become too long, and I wanted to narrow down to those 5 things that I think are my kind of hopes for in Wayfinder, as there's so many MMOs today that they always try and shoot, but they always miss the mark. Now, if you like this video, please feel free to subscribe and comment down below what you really want to see with the future of Wayfinder. This is Austinix, and it's been a fun time, and I'll see you in the next one.